Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video I am looking at 3R's Field Marshal von Rundstedt. This is an older figure set. In fact, the date on the back of the box is 2019. Normally these figures, these older 3R figures, go for quite a bit of money, more than I want to pay. But I got a really good deal on this, so I snatched it up. And so let's see what is inside. As usual, the back of the cover is a background display of a nice pastoral scene. Then here's another picture of the figure. And being a field marshal, he doesn't have much, which is typical. Got a bunch of envelopes of peel and stick insignia. Let's see. We've got his hat with the gold braid on it, indicating he's a general. His interim stab, or everyday field marshal's baton. These pom-poms, or tassels, whatever you want to call them, on the end, they actually were about half that size, if even that big. So, but I'm guessing that's as small as 3R could make them. But I wish they could find a way to make them smaller. So there's that. Here is his field marshal's baton, and being an older set, back then they did not do a very good job of making these. Here is a newer one, and you can, I don't know if you can see that, but the quality has improved quite a bit, you know, on the painting, and just the finish and detailing on them. So the other thing, I mean, you can see if just how the little crosses are done. The other thing is, from all the information I could find, and there isn't much, von Rundstedt had a field marshal's baton just like all the other army field marshals, which means it was red and not this maroon color. So I don't know why it's painted maroon. So, but anyway, I have an extra one of these, so if I decide to pose him holding his fancy baton, I'll give him this one. So then he's got a pair of binoculars, which seems to be standard with all their general figures. Little tiny wristwatch. Really nice detail on that. He's got a trigger hand and kind of a grasping hand. Then he's got the bendy hands for his gloves. He's got relaxed hands on that come on the figure. One thing I wish they would do is when they give us a figure with this interim stab, that they would give us a hand that gripping tight enough to hold one of these. So, and then he's got an overcoat, greatcoat. Normally I would either buy the loose parts or a second figure set so I could show them in both without and with the greatcoat, but Unless I could find another great deal on this figure set, that's not going to happen. It's old enough that you can't find loose parts for it anymore. So, and here is the figure. Now he's sat in this box for 6 years, so his pants are all messed up. I'll have to work on that to unmess them. So, he's already got his Field Marshal symbols on his epaulets in place. We don't have to worry about gluing those on. So, also, there's a number there. I'll have to look into it, but I think there's some significance to that number. It's very hard to see. It's very tiny. I don't know if you can see that. And there is a spot on him already. So, so there you have it. Let me fuss with him and get him in shape and put them together, and we'll look at the final product. So here's the figure assembled and posed. I chose to show him holding his interim stab. I ended up having to use a bendy hand to put the baton in, and I could only bend the fingers just so it's just kind of resting in there. So it just makes me reiterate my criticism that 3R and DID don't give us preformed hands specifically for holding this item. One reason I wanted this figure, it wasn't because I wanted von Rundstedt, but he's wearing a uniform variation I don't have in my collection. You'll notice that he doesn't have the typical general's collar tabs. He also has white underneath his epaulets and white piping here. And to better illustrate that, here is Field Marshal Rommel, who has the typical elaborate Field Marshal's collar tabs. This is a holdover from Imperial Germany, and maybe earlier than that. And that was the custom when a general was also an honorary chief of a regiment. At his option, he could wear the insignia of that regiment. So von Rundstedt, as honorary chief of the 18th Infantry Regiment, he's got the white piping and the white underlayment of an infantry regiment, as well as the parade tabs of that infantry regiment. So now there were times when he also wore these collar tabs, and 3R does give you a set of those, so you could put those on him instead. However, I don't think he would have worn these collar tabs with the white piping or the white under the shoulder boards. He would have worn the red, just like this guy's doing. So even though they give you that option, I don't think it would have been correct. So there you have him in his Field Marshal's uniform. So I did manage to pick up a second figure at a reasonable price. So I could have one in the greatcoat showing the red facing of the army. I did try to have him wear his gloves. I did manage to get the gloves on the hands, the bendy hands, but then I couldn't get it to grasp his Field Marshal's baton. So I went with the ubiquitous gloves in the hand pose. But that's okay. You know, So there you have it, Field Marshal von Rundstedt. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for coming by.